Hello, everyone, and welcome to a new webinar of NinjaOne. Yeah, I'm super excited about this topic. We supercharge Intune with NinjaOne. It's a really product-focused and kind of geeky topic. Yeah, I think people that do not work in IT probably never heard about Intune. So, but in our world of system administrators and IT managers and managed service providers and so on, it's definitely a tool I think that everyone knows. If anyone doesn't know Intune, you can maybe write it in the chat. But yeah, hi Daniel, nice to have you here. And yeah, people, please write in the chat. We want this webinar to be interactive, and so don't be shy. Drop a little message in the chat. There's also a Q&A feature, Q&A function. So if you have technical questions, then please use the Q&A section. That's a bit easier for us to track and to manage the questions. Hopefully you have a lot of questions. So we're really gonna go into the product as well. I also have a little small Intune environment to really make kind of this comparison. Hi Peter from Germany. Nice. Yeah, I'm based in Berlin. So let me share my screen. Oh, today we are quite a lot of people. That's cool. Yeah. So the most geeky topics are the people that attracts the most people. That's good to know. Let me share my screen. I'm also actually very excited. So I'm sharing the right screen here. My front page. Yes, perfect. Yeah, I'm also very excited that we have today a guest speaker with us. So, yeah, a client that I love to work with because, yeah, he's just a great person, but he also has, yeah, what I appreciate about him is the fact that he has the management perspective as well as he's still very close to the product Ninja and to other IT products. Yeah, maybe Andre, if you want to just quickly introduce yourself to the audience.
Hello, everybody. Nice to at least read you all. Maybe and also follow-up conversation during the Q&A session as well. I'm really happy and I really appreciate the chance to share my experience and about my, let's say, feelings about today's topics. Or will guide you through. I'm responsible in the EMEA region for the company Filtration Group. And as Jörg already mentioned, I dealt with Intune for about 2 and 3 years. And I also get my first experiences by using Ninja as well. So I see, let's say, both sides of the story. So I'm really happy to share my thoughts and my ideas about the topics Jörg will guide you through today.
Yeah. Yeah, awesome. Thanks. It's really great that we have your perspective today, Andre. So Andre is available only for 30 minutes. So guys, please, if you have questions to Andre, then yeah, don't hesitate to type your questions quickly, so we can use his time effectively. Yeah. By the way, I forgot to introduce myself. So my name is Jörg. So I work as product marketing manager for Ninja, based in Berlin. And yeah, I will also guide you through the technical demo after Andre leaves our webinar today. So here's a bit of an agenda, what we're going to talk about. So first of all, I wanted to cover the fundamental benefits that NinjaOne can actually bring to the table when we talk about combining both. So today the idea is really to talk about the strengths and weaknesses of both solutions and to see how you can really leverage NinjaOne to extend and enhance and yeah, just enable Intune more, to enhance several areas more. So here I broke them down into a couple of different categories here. So how NinjaOne supercharges Intune, basically improved, enhanced troubleshooting, like advanced scripting automation capabilities, a simplified, streamlined patch management specifically for third-party applications, Yeah, then also more monitoring capabilities, including real-time monitoring, real-time notifications on issues, etc. And then also an improved multi-OS management experience. So creating VMs for macOS is a real pain. So I really wanted to create like a macOS VM and put it into my Intune environment. I was not able to do that, but I have some Windows machines and some one Linux machine to just kind of like show the difference between Ninja and Intune on that front. Yeah, question from Alessio about the recording of the webinar. Yes, of course, we are recording this webinar, and everyone receives the link to the recording. Yeah, but before we go into this technical walkthrough and comparison between Ninja and Intune, we actually start with Andre. So maybe let's start easy. You already introduced yourself, your name, but how long did you use Intune? What were the challenges, and like how did you come to NinjaOne in the end?
Yeah. So in general, we started our endpoint management journey by using Intune because most of our products are already used by Microsoft. So we are a really close Microsoft shop. So the idea was, why not increase the benefit of the already used and known services by Microsoft by using their Intune product as well, especially after in most of the licensing bundles, you get Intune for free, let's say for free. Okay, you pay for it. So by generating an added value, you're considering also to use it for your endpoint management. To be fair, our organizational structure is a little bit complex. So we don't host just one Active Directory, so we have multiple one. But we just have one M365 tenant where all those collaboration and Intune resides within. So, and this is where the complication started. So we were not able to grant all of the clients part of the foreign Active Directory domains access to Intune management. Nevertheless, the users will get other M365 licenses for Word, Office, so like all those Office collaboration applications from this M365 tenant. We also consulted Microsoft and asked them, hey, is there a possibility with an umbrella Intune, for example, and use it with our carved out domain as well? But we unfortunately need to realize that at least Microsoft didn't offer for our customer environment a suitable situation. So that's why we were enforced to find another endpoint management solution. So this heterogeneous approach and this very different environment was one of the key benefits we identified to start with Ninja. And especially the other topics we will also cover in this first half hour about the real benefits by using the NinjaOne solution, totally convinced us by give this tool a chance. Within as a sister company, let's describe it that way, we also get positive feedback by using NinjaOne as an endpoint management tool, which also supported us to do a proof of concept with the NinjaOne solution. So that's in short why we decided to flip the tool.
Yeah, actually, also for the backgrounds, maybe can you just briefly you talked about the heterogeneous environment, etc., the challenges that go along with having multiple Active Directories, Azure Active Directories, or Entra, right? What we need to call it now. But could you give us a bit of an idea about the size of filtration group and kind of the size of the company you work for? Because this is, I think, also important here.
So, filtration group from an employee perspective, we are about 7,500 employees worldwide, and we need to manage about 5,000 devices. So 5,000 devices are balanced through most of the parts within the North America region, which covers about 60% of all of our device landscape, and the other devices are spread within the EMEA region and as well as the Asia Pacific region. And those 5,000 devices are really spread into multiple Active Directories, Entra IDs. So it's very heterogeneous. And Intune is not able to cover that because Intune in general requires one main tenant where all those devices are connected to. And so you can manage them and use all the benefits by using Intune. And Ninja, for who you are already aware of the tool, just requires internet connectivity. So it doesn't take care about organizational structures and repositories where the device is currently associated with. It just requires internet, and then you can manage the device based on your behalf.
Yeah.
So it's very easy.
Actually, I think half of the people are already NinjaOne partners, so I don't need to explain it to them. But we also have actually today, as a positive surprise, quite a lot of people that are not using Ninja so far. So in Ninja, you have really this organizational structure, so you can create different organizations that are attached to policies, etc. So this is kind of a very flexible structure that allows a company like Filtration Group to, create different organizations for how do you separate, Andre? Like by country or by business servers or like
Well, Filtration Group is not a homogeneous company, as you may expect by the way the infrastructure is currently sized and designed. So Filtration Group itself contains of about 23 different brands or other companies. So Filtration Group is a combination of multiple companies. So we, for usual, started the approach to organize them by company. And within the companies, we use the location property to assign it to the corresponding site where the devices are associated with.
So basically for Filtration Group, you have 23 NinjaOne organizations, and within each organization, you have the location Munich, Berlin, whatever, London, or whatever you want to have. Okay, yeah. So this is actually very interesting for me also because NinjaOne obviously historically was a tool that was used a lot by managed service provider that manage a portfolio of clients, and now we see like a big company like Filtration Group to use kind of this multi-tenant approach for internal IT purposes, right? So that's actually and how it can be very beneficial, right? And actually, what did you say? 1,200 devices you manage out of 7,000 in total in Filtration Group, correct?
So currently we started the journey by replacing Intune with Ninja based on the complication I just shared with you before. So that's why I said that's why we decided to get Intune replaced by Ninja with the first instance. With the second instance, we will also replace another RMM tool and get those devices transferred to NinjaOne as well. So this will cover the whole EMEA region and Asia Pacific region, so around about 30% or maybe a little bit more. And the North American devices are currently covered by a managed service provider using, again, another RMM tool. So we are currently not able to transfer them to Ninja because there are ongoing contracts, but this will be an ongoing journey. So the next two phases are already defined, and we already generated some usability on the other companies, so they also want to use NinjaOne as well because they already saw the benefits by using this tool.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm happy to hear that. Okay, so basically, I'm gonna reshare my screen. We have a bit of a little slide here with some key benefits that Andre and I also discussed and agreed upon that NinjaOne adds to Intune. So Andre, of course, working for such a big corporation, etc., is kind of a case here that he discontinued Intune. However, I think, and you agree with me, Andre, many companies, as they already have Intune as part of their E5 license or as part of a business premium, if they are a bit smaller, or E3 license, etc. So there are several licenses from Microsoft that include Intune. So you, even though you replaced Intune, you agree that makes a lot of sense to use both in parallel, right?
Absolutely. So if we won't have this complication based on our heterogeneous infrastructure, using both of the tool, I think would be something like the dream of any administrator. So you can use all the benefits you get from Intune by, for example, Autopilot for onboarding new devices, get them joined to your corresponding repository. Is it hybrid joined or is it Entra ID only joined or cloud joined? You can use all the onboarding properties with Autopilot, where Intune is really strong and it really offers you the chance to send out a brand new device and do the out-of-box experience for a maybe remote user. So that's one of the really key benefits Intune can offer to you. But on the other end, NinjaOne is very strong in operational excellence. Let's describe it that way. So
Mm.
all the three bullet points mentioned there, is it real-time execution, the integrated remote functionality, and as well those details in the visibility or the corresponding log. This is where NinjaOne really is strong and offers a lot of benefits during the asset lifecycle. So combining both of them from a customer perspective, if we would have the chance, if we would just start with one Active Directory or just one Entra ID, this would be my personally preferred approach to use both of them. In
Mm.
our situation, we need to replace Intune um, based on this very complicated infrastructure setup. But on the other side, the three mentioned topic, it's really a pain for administrative purposes.
Yeah. Yeah, we can see here in the chat also, Daniel, for example, mentions here that he manages, like he uses Ninja and he distributes Ninja also through Autopilot. So basically what you just described. Tom hopes is doing something similar. I think. And yeah, so actually, I'm curious, the audience, anyone feels a bit or faces similar difficulties like Andre, like sitting in front of a very heterogeneous IT where this kind of federated approach with different organizations, etc., can be useful? Or everyone is really on the Microsoft Intune track. Yeah, you can maybe write it into the chat. I know that yeah, companies obviously have different mix of both. Okay, yeah, thanks, Mark, for a little comment. I mean, I see this myself also when I talk to managed service providers. Of course, some managed service providers are like very, let's say, focused on Microsoft 365 and they have this specialization, etc. And then, of course, they use Intune. There's like no doubt about it. But then we also have managed service providers that have been along for a longer time and they have like a very diversified portfolio of clients. So, they can face these issues as well. And obviously, like if you're an internal IT department, and you have a lot of external growth, mergers and acquisitions, different IT infrastructures, or maybe company country teams in France or in Poland or whatever. There's a separate IT that wants to keep like some autonomy. So I've seen these situations several times already. But I think in your case, it's the most extreme what I've seen so far, Andre. But yeah, we already mentioned it. So I think like one of the real big benefits is real-time execution. I think everyone can confirm that. If you want to do something in Intune, it will work eventually, probably. But you never know if it's like in 20 minutes or if it's like in 1 day or in 2 days or in 7 days. So actually, the Intune service checks in at different intervals for different topics, right? For asset inventory, for just a regular agent check-in, for software inventory, etc. So how did you describe this, Andre? Like Intune works in waves, or I like that metaphor.
Well, for Intune, and that's covering the first bullet item regarding real-time execution. I also checked the chat in parallel, and there are a lot of guys already use it in a hybrid mode or use it in parallel as well. So if you use both solutions, it is very straightforward to see if you execute an automation or a scriptlet via Ninja, you get a response immediately. So you see it in the log file, you can see it in the activity section. You immediately get a feedback about your latest implementation you want to get triggered. So that is very straightforward. On the other end, you execute policy. Or you assign a policy within Intune. So you can click on the sync, and then you can sit down and pray and hope the Microsoft Cloud will execute your request, because you won't get any feedback about, hey, was this policy already executed? You can check it with some of the monitoring capabilities within Intune, but you don't get the immediate response that potentially required of post another step you would need to proceed. So even if the approach is comparable by using policies within Ninja and Microsoft Intune as well, you don't have this immediate feedback to see whether your change was successful. And to dealing with a very heterogeneous infrastructure, you need to get an immediate feedback. Otherwise, you can't sit down and say, okay, let's check tomorrow whether my change was successful. Oh, tomorrow you get a feedback that your change was fails, for example, you potentially would need to adjust the script. You wait another day until you get feedback. So that's at least the experience we made. And the other topic, then I just take a look on the third one. If you would like to get a reporting with Intune, good luck. Especially a device-centric reporting, which is mostly was requested on our end. So end user calls you and said, hey, I just experienced issues with my device. It starts this morning. Can you take a look what's going on my device? Well, with Intune, it really gets complicated to get the corresponding data. Some of you may know Intune Data Warehouse, so that's more like a long-term data warehouse. You won't get those recent events exported or maybe extracted. You can just take a look about the policy execution. So if your device needs to process multiple policies, then you would need to take a look on every policy and see, well, was this policy executed on system contact? Was it executed on user contact? And that's not suitable from IT investigation or help desk services. We also encourage a consulting company to maybe build us a workaround with local log collection, store it to Azure log spaces, and to get some reports or visibility there. It's really not the way you would like to work from an administrative purpose.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I totally agree with you, and of course, I hear this also from other companies. And then, like the second part, I would also like your stance on this. We discussed this yesterday in our preparation call, the integrated remote access, right? So, I mean, here I take remote access as a broader concept, not only like TeamViewer remote access or Ninja remote access, but also having different tools at your disposal. For example, the CMD, for example, executing a script ad hoc. You mentioned that, like an automation with like logs that come up immediately, where you see if it's successful or not. So yeah, so how was the situation with you again? Like you had you had TeamViewer also, right? Integrated with Intune for a while, right? How was that experience?
Yeah. So first of all, for me, Intune is not an RMM. Intune doesn't represent my prerequisites of a remote monitoring managing tool. Intune can support you with some kind of monitoring, parts of monitoring capabilities, and also parts of remote management. The remote management capabilities is remote access by starting a screen share session from the user or the asset you would like to manage. For this, you either can use Quick Connect offered by Microsoft for just additional coins you would need to pay for, or you can use maybe the already available TeamViewer. Some of the companies may already use TeamViewer, but there is also something you need to be aware. not all TeamViewer licenses are capable to get connected to Intune.
Yeah.
For this, it requires a TeamViewer Tensor license. We also started with the traditional TeamViewer business licenses, where the metric is the available channels you can use for TeamViewer remote support. Tensor license requires a user-centric metric, so you would need to equip every supporter with a Tensor license. This is much more the cost than the business plan, honestly, depending on your connections to TeamViewer and depending on the amount you would purchase. But it's not like, hey, I already use TeamViewer, let's get it connected to Intune. No, in our case, we first would need to migrate our license to Tensor. Then we were able to establish this TeamViewer and Intune connectivity. And then TeamViewer will start through company portal. So also company portal would need to get configured. And then the user you would like to support will get some kind of notification, maybe in the tray icon, or if company portal is already open, that a supporter would like to access your computer to give you assistance. So that's a very, this paradigm shift causes a lot of confusion in our organization because users just said, hey, what's going on here? Where do I need to click? Where is my remote request? For those who are already using NinjaOne, you see if you're configured Ninja Remote by user first need to accept the remote management and window pops up. The end user just needs to confirm and you could get in it. So it's not as easy as it looks like, and it's not really, and the remote capabilities within Ninja, you just mentioned some of them, are very far away from the availability Intune offers.
Yeah, and this is actually probably like the one of the main reasons why Ninja is actually a great extension. It's just like you use Intune as the baseline for compliance policy, for conditional access. So there, Intune, that's definitely Intune's strength, right? But when it comes to like actually IT admin work, like troubleshooting, like resolving issues, etc. You need to have that real-time capability. You need to have that possibility to have, yeah, like use the CMD if necessary, execute that automation that you need, look at the logs immediately and not in 30 minutes or tomorrow, I remember, can you quickly share like how you call that when the management is identifying an issue like the Eye of Sauron? Can you quickly share this with our audience?
Yeah. So as a very global company and with headquarter in the US, the US guys are really focused on particular topics, are very focused on issues they would like to get solved. And if some things appear, it currently requires all of the attention. I just call it, hey, now the eye of Sauron just caught me. So now I'm totally in focus of the US guys. So they are very, very closely monitoring what I'm currently doing just to fulfill their request. If I do this request or if I remediate this request, now the eye of Sauron now passes me by and just focuses another guy in our organization. He now is currently in very, very tight monitoring mode. So that's why I said, well, working with US guys sometimes is comparable like Frodo and Samwise walking through Mordor and Eye of Sauron will caught you. And for this, we really appreciate the abilities we get by using NinjaOne. There was one question I saw in the chat just passing by where someone asked how we do the configuration of the devices. So in general, as I already said, if I would be able to do, I would use Intune for initial onboarding of new devices, doing all the basic configuration based on compliance policies, for example, via Intune, just to get the device onboarded. The whole other life cycle, doing the operational task like adding application, doing registry fix, working with vulnerabilities, and all this stuff during life cycle, I would prefer using NinjaOne with all the remote tool capabilities. So that would be my best case scenario for an administrator. Unfortunately, we are not able to do it because we just would be able to use it in a limited way for just one domain where all those Intune licenses and Intune management is currently associated with. But with maybe smaller or more homogeneous scenarios, this would be my best approach
Yeah.
personally.
Yeah. Thanks for that. Actually, by the way, I see Renee and Nomsa, they wrote messages to hosts and panelists. Actually, this happens to me also all the time. I want to write a chat message to everyone, and then I just send it to the panelists or something. So maybe Renee and Nomsa, if that was intended, or if you wanted to share with everyone. So yeah, I just wanted to quickly say that. All right. Andre, so that was very kind of you. Your explanations, I think, very useful. Is that like a question to everyone? I mean, we don't do this for every webinar, but I would actually like to do this more often. Do you people appreciate like having kind of an external perspective from a practitioner? So just write maybe in the chat. I don't have a survey now prepared, but yeah, I'm just curious to what you guys think about that. Um, all right, one person. I think probably it's more, but um, yeah. All right, Andre, do you need to run now, or do you have maybe time for one more
I
question,
always,
or?
I unfortunately have a conflict right now. So if there are any emergent question or maybe I missed something in the chat, so I just have the chat open. Oh, I already get a request. So joining the other meeting. So unfortunately, I need to step away. So if there are follow-up questions on my role, please raise a question to York. He will
Yeah,
forward this to me as well. So you should get an answer on your maybe current open topics. Okay? But
awesome.
unfortunately, I need to drop now. Have a
Yeah, you
good
need to drop.
continuous webinar here.
Thank you,
Bye.
Andre. Yeah. All right. So then let's continue now and go into the technical part. Yeah, thanks for the comments, guys. That's encouraging. So yeah, I think it's very interesting to have the different perspectives. And actually, I appreciate also Andre as someone. I mean, obviously he likes Ninja, and I mean I would not invite someone who hates Ninja, but he still says, like for me, it would be ideal to use Intune and Ninja. It's just kind of this historical growth of their IT infrastructure that makes it very difficult. But yeah, using both together, I think, is makes a lot of sense for in most of the use cases, probably. All right. I mean, here now, this is not the most beautiful slide in world history, I guess, but this is just something like a quick overview here that I put together for the troubleshooting piece. So like the device details, like remote access, obviously we mentioned that, hardware inventory. Actually, Intune got much better on that. So we have this both in Intune and in Ninja. Software inventory, BitLocker key. We have this also both in Ninja and in Intune. Managed apps, actually. Yeah, this is actually a little mistake I made myself. So managed apps is basically the software inventory. So you also have that both in Ninja and in Intune. But then like the remote troubleshooting tools like remote task manager, remote registry editor, patch overview, inbuilt ticketing, real-time performance, the script forms with dynamic variables. These are just a couple of the things that you have at your fingertips. In Ninja, what you would not find in Intune, basically. Let me I'm just gonna share here my Ninja platform. So everyone sees the Ninja platform? Yes. Thanks for confirming. Because like I've done several webinars, but everything happened to me already. I presented like 15 minutes sharing the wrong window, and I think I've done like all the blunders that you can that you can imagine. So anyway, so yeah, in Ninja, basically, if I go into my client organization or my country or company organization, as Andre would have done it. Then we can, oh, they're all offline now. Let's go into another one. We go into devices. We go into laptops. And we want them to be online. So now I'm just gonna pick like a random device, and here actually this is like how the NinjaOne dashboard looks. Not the dashboard, but the Ninja device dashboard, if you want to, looks like. We see that there is basic information. There's like the performance overview, but there are obviously much more capabilities. I have my Intune environment here. Like if I go into a Windows device in Intune, right, then yeah, I also have information, but much less information. Now in Intune, we have this. This is actually a new feature, right, with this device inventory. So here we get lots of data. But here, for example, this is also like I think a typical Intune issue. So actually, I added this policy in Intune like last week. And honestly, I don't understand why it's not collecting this data. But anyways, somehow it can collect this data. So we get detailed information. But obviously in Ninja, you have the device details, right? So, and now we have this wonderful new feature. It's still in beta, so it's not like a general availability, but you can go back in time, if you want to do troubleshooting, and you just have more detailed information. You have the software inventory, etc. And then obviously what we talked about with Andre, you have the script, like from the automation library, the script library that you can leverage here directly. When you execute a script, you get here your real-time feedback. If you want to connect to a device, you can use NinjaOne Connect here. If you want a CMD, if you want PowerShell, so you have all these troubleshooting tools, and you just have much more visibility on that one device. Yeah, but how do I get these devices into Intune and into Ninja, right? So maybe let's talk a bit about the deployment, because here we also have obviously some very great news, and that's our Intune integration. So the Intune integration basically is for now I think it's not, is it GA? I think it's still early access. At least it's the first version, but it's something that we will continue to develop over the next months. And in 2026, you will see lots of improvements going to come here. So basically, you go into apps, you will find this tile Ninja Intune, and then yeah, you enable it, and here we have our Intune discovery jobs, right? So here actually I have my little discovery job that I created earlier today. So it's still pending. So I think I need to re-authenticate here. And then, so basically, it's very easy. You just authenticate with your Microsoft account tenant here, credentials. So here I'm signed in. And actually, this is also very interesting. I absolutely wanted to share this with you. That's why I left it on pending, so I can share it on the webinar, because this is very important. Here we see permissions requested, and then you might think like, oh my God, like Ninja, what is Ninja for a data, how do you say that in English, like a data thief? No, that's not the best term, but you know what I mean. Like Ninja is asking for lots of permissions. So why is Ninja doing this? Because as I said earlier, we definitely want to really like tighten this integration. For now, it's basically only about deployment of the agent, but we definitely like all these permissions that you see is something that we want to leverage later on in our integration. And the idea is just to already use it, to already have it right now. So we don't like, because it's really painful. This is like the product manager that is explained this to me. It's really painful to like add additional permissions later on, you know, so because you have to like re-authenticate all the devices, etc. Like from a development and infrastructure point of view, this is very painful. So yeah, I'm just gonna accept that here. Now, yeah, if you need more detailed information for that, basically in the dojo there's an article. Okay, that's is obviously uh, great when that happens during the webinar. Yeah, you see, like every time something goes wrong, I think that's a must. But yeah, anyways, let me where was that? Let me try again. I'm just gonna try again. Um, uh, okay, I'm just gonna try that again. If it's not working, I did something wrong, I guess, with my account or something. So sorry for that. Oh no, now it works. I guess. So here, this is also interesting. So here you can create these are like the Ninja organizations, and I can decide like this discovery job. I want to put the discovered devices into this organization and into this, of course, as you can imagine. Here I have my organization George Lloyd, and I created a location, York, of course. Yeah, and we are going to run that discovery. So here we can see the different groups that we have in Intune, right? So here now I wanted to deploy it actually to EMEA marketing. And one little side note to that, you guys know Intune, you know the groups, and I think this is a very smart design decision that we took from a development point of view, because we leverage the groups. Why is that useful? Because there are two different types of groups. You know, there are the assigned groups and the dynamic groups. You know, so if I say like this is uh, my test group, and I can make this dynamic, and then basically like I can add these queries. You guys probably already seen that, you know that, and then I have a dynamic group in Intune that dynamically also updates with Ninja, right? So I think this is very useful. This is the Intune integration. At the moment, it's ad hoc. There's no scheduled deployment that will come down a bit later down the line. But yeah, this design decision when it comes to the dynamic groups, this is just the idea that then afterwards everything just synchronizes completely dynamically, like with Ninja. So we're going to do this and assign it here. And I did prepare two VMs for EMEA marketing. So let's see if Intune, so we have 15 more minutes, if Intune can manage to deploy it within 15 minutes. We can maybe take some bets. Who's betting that Intune will deploy the Ninja agent within 15 minutes? Please write it into the chat. Uh, yeah, Mark is betting against it. I think I'm betting against it as well. But yeah, I tried it out. Yeah, thanks for the comments, guys. That makes me laugh. Anyway, so this Intune discovery job. I think this is really interesting also for MSPs, because if you have a new client, right, you can plug Intune in, especially if it's like a M365 client, and then you can like easily use this also for audit purposes if you didn't sign a contract with your customer yet, or with your potential customer yet, or you can just use this for quick deployment. But of course, and I've seen that. I think Tom Hopes wrote that earlier in the chat. Some of you guys already use Intune to deploy Ninja, and this is of course also something that you can do. So basically, so here this is the Dojo article. Yeah, where you can see like you can go into Intune, you can just upload the MSI file. Basically, I tested that, and actually it was surprisingly quick. So basically here you go to apps, all apps, and then here you create. And it is strongly recommended you can read this also in the Dojo article, to use this line of business app, right? And then you can deploy here. So I assigned this as a static assignment to just one person, of course, in the organization York. And this was deployed. I think I stopped it 20 minutes. I think it was roughly just 18 minutes. So actually quicker than I was expecting. Because the other day I also set up the Windows Defender integration with Intune, and I thought I did something wrong. But like 2 days later, just the integration was magically there, and I was like, oh, there it is. And like within the 2 days, I was trying to find out what was going wrong. But anyways, so if I go into here, my organization York in the UK, so the device is offline now. Yeah, so I haven't touched it for a while. A couple of minutes. But anyway, so this device here, basically, I deployed that through Intune. So this is not even an integration. So here also, if you use like the dynamic groups in Intune, if you use like if you configure Intune in a smart way, etc., you can also use just Intune to automatically have that autopilot out of the box experience. Use Intune to install the Ninja agent, and then you can use Intune obviously for your compliance policies, for your configuration policies. That's where I see really the strength of Intune. But like when you need some quick access, when you want to run an automation, if you want to have more powerful automation, etc., then Ninja is a great extension here. And yeah, so that's the deployment. Now I wanted to briefly touch upon the automation piece. Just curious, like here into the group, people are using PowerShell scripts in their daily admin lives. Maybe write it into the chats. Or if you hate PowerShell and you try to avoid it at all costs, please write it as well into the chat. But where was my other device? Let's go back to this device maybe. What is very useful, for example, when it comes to the ad hoc automation capability, is like the dynamic script variables. So this is, for example, something there's no equivalent in that in Intune. So here I have like kind of a list of my scripts that I like to show. What script does have the so for example here, the system performance check. So this is a script from our template library. Again, the template library is something that doesn't exist in Intune. Of course, you can upload your PowerShell scripts in Intune if you want to, but it's also actually capped. So I was really surprised to see that. So there's a cap of 200 scripts in Intune. Of course, I know lots of people might not necessarily have more than 200 scripts. Although if you're a managed service provider, I think you can easily like scratch that cap of 200. Anyways, the dynamic script variables are really something that you have a script that you have in your NinjaOne script library, and you have a person that is very smart about scripting, very skillful, etc., and very good at ChatGPT prompting. And then and then you have like a first line supporter who can use that script and just fill out the dynamic variables. And then obviously, as you can imagine, these variables are dynamically used in that script, etc. And this gives you just lots of opportunities for automation. So very, very useful example. And let's have a quick look how the script automation library looks like. So this is the script automation library. So this is the template library, 305 at the moment. And it's growing. So we have like an in-house scripting team now that is pumping out these scripts on a per release basis. So with every release, there's like 10, 15, 20 new scripts. Obviously, they're all QA'd and tested and evaluated and maintained by us as well. So definitely for the guys here that like to build these automations, something. Yeah, hi there. By the way, yeah. Avoid PowerShell. Daniel wrote that. Yeah, I understand that. I think it divides the people. I think it's a matter of style when it comes to PowerShell. But yeah, anyways, this is the automation library. So some people love it, some people hate it, but I think it's still useful. And you probably in your IT team, I can imagine that you have one person that loves it, and if he's good, then he can do very, very good things with scripts. And obviously, you can use these script templates. Sometimes, you get these little blanks. And the next thing that I wanted to talk about is patching. Patching is also, so now we have like the troubleshooting, right, where Ninja extends Intune. We covered the deployment process as of now. We talked here about these automations on the first line support perspective and here in the back end. Yeah, these scripts basically you can access them. Like if you're scripting wizard in your IT team, he has access to the source code, etc., and he can work with that. But patching is also a big topic. So here I would like to highlight especially the OS patching and the third-party patching. So let's get into it. If we take a quick look at Intune, right? So we could go into Windows. Let's go into devices. Here, Windows updates, for example. So you do have one advantage in Intune. What is nice is like the update rings. So that's something that you don't necessarily have in that way in Ninja. We are building that at the moment. But like if you look at the configuration of these policies, they got more granular. And so I've looked at Intune last year also. So here they added more granularity. But I think in Ninja you definitely have more granularity. Let's look next to it here at a NinjaOne patching policy. So you have like the managing the scans, the updates, like time-wise, you do have a bit of more granularity. You can add easily automations. Daniel, that's for you, Daniel Smith. You can add your favorite PowerShell script. Just joking. But yeah, so you also have here really granular approval mechanisms, right? First of all, you have the possibility to set a patch to approve, to reject, or to manual. So you don't have that in this form when we look into the Intune patching policy, right? So you do not have this granularity. And now we have this wonderful AI feature, the patch intelligence AI that will always, every patch will evaluate, is it stable? Are there any issues reported on Microsoft support, on Reddit, on Bleeping Computer or whatever? Like we have a set of, I think, 20 sources that we evaluate. So you have this AI support, something that we don't have in Intune at the moment. We have here granular possibility to even down to the patch ID or to the KB number to reject or approve to create these exceptions. So much more granularity in general for Windows. And then when we talk about third-party patching, this is like a completely different thing. Like in Intune, you do not have third-party patching unless you buy here's the Intune pricing, right? Unless you buy here this wonderful thing, Microsoft Intune Enterprise Application Management, $2 per user per month. So depending on your size, this is even more expensive than the whole entire NinjaOne suite. So also the cost benefit analysis plays a big role when we talk about Intune and Ninja, right? So these $2 you can invest them into Ninja, and then you do have much more capability. Yeah, I can show you here the third party. We do have this wonderful feature now, the WinGet integration. So you have 8,800 applications that you can automatically, let's just take a couple of random ones here. You can add them here to your policy. And what you can do is you can granularly here also on the application level, you can say, I want to approve or want to set it on manual or want to set it on reject. And you have like not only software deployment. Software deployment you can also do in Intune. It does bring some advantages maybe for Microsoft Store apps and things like that. But overall, the feedback that I get a lot is Ninja software deployment is much easier. But the big thing is obviously you want to deploy it one time, but you also need to update it, right? So in Ninja, you can deploy it and you have the update process right behind. So the process will be that every application is updated on a regular basis. Exactly. So I think, for example, Andre told me that during their Intune time, they were using basically Patch My PC, which is a good product, but it's another tool, right? It's not the same dashboard. It's extra cost. Same with remote access, right? You need the TeamViewer Tensor license, right? And it's also another tool, another cost factor. So here in Ninja, you can definitely like just streamline, simplify, and make that patching process more successful. Yeah, and the same thing goes for now. We do not have that much time left here. It's a big topic, so probably we would need like 2 hours of webinar to go like through the topics one by one. I just wanted to briefly talk about the macOS and the Linux management. Intune does offer very good management also for macOS devices, right? So you have macOS update management. It also uses the new approach, the declarative device management, right? It offers lots of configuration policies also out of the box. But yeah, you do have something equivalent in Ninja. If you go into Mac, then we see here this macOS MDM. So basically, I would say this is equivalent, right, between macOS in Ninja and macOS in Intune. But in Ninja, on top, you have the remote access, you have the performance monitoring, you have the easy scripting, you have like all kinds of like RMM benefits on top of the MDM approach. So you have the OS update management based on declarative management. You do have that in Intune as well. You could technically also use Intune macOS MDM and install the NinjaOne RMM agent. That could be also an approach. That's obviously something that you guys would have to evaluate for your organization. that's something that will be difficult to go through all the different use cases. Yeah. Yeah, we're actually arriving at time. So yeah, maybe for the people that have 1 or 2 minutes more, I just briefly wanted to show Linux. When we go into Intune and we have a look at a Linux device. 1 second. We will see that here we do have yeah, it's pretty limited. If it would load, that would be fantastic. So I have one Ubuntu VM. So yeah, so it gives you a bit of essential device information. It gives you essential hardware information, and of course you also have compliance policies, but they are much less powerful than, for example, the Intune policies for Windows or for macOS. So if you guys are managing Linux, then yeah, Intune is just like very limited. Of course, Linux in Ninja is also more limited than Windows or macOS, but you still have lots of capabilities. We do have now remote access for Linux as well. So we're making like big strides also. This is a Linux device. You see, you have more device information. You have automations that you can easily run, like little ad hoc actions. You have the terminal. So you see, like there's just much more detailed information that you can use. And on top of that, we have like Ninja is very policy centered. So almost all of the policy features that you will find in Windows or in macOS, not all, but quite a lot of it, you will find also in Linux. So here you see it's day and night. So this is also, I think, where Ninja can really like enhance and extend Intune. It's just handling like the multi-OS environments, the heterogeneous environments much better. Yeah, I see people are dropping out. I understand we're a bit over time. So yeah, thanks for your attention today. Thanks for the many participation of you guys in the chat. And yeah, there are 2 questions in the Q&A that I was not able to answer yet out of time reasons. We will get back at you. But yeah, I hope it was interesting. Also, I hope it was interesting for you guys to listen to Andre. And yeah, looking forward to see you on another webinar and go more into detail on other products of Ninja and other features. All right, guys. Then I wish everyone a wonderful end of the day and see you soon. Bye-bye.